Hello, 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 everybody. It's me, Karen Maloney, and this is the Curiosity and Consciousness podcast. Whether you're listening on Spotify, on Apple, on wherever, or on YouTube, you will see that I am on video now. And today I am coming to you from the floor in a room in Mexico City. And I have to sit forward because the sun is really streaming in down on top of me. Anyway, oh, I swear to God, so much is happening, obviously, in the world. We can see that in so many different places, in so many different ways and different levels, but also within each of us, I believe, because this isn't what I wanted to talk about, but it's what's coming through right now to start with. Something really big dropped in for me in these last couple of weeks as well, and especially in the last week, that again, the real war, the real place where issues and problems and conflict lies is within ourselves. That's where the ultimate battle is happening for everyone on some level of all different extremities and levels. But it is that more when you break it down in the most simplistic of terms, and I'm not saying it's simple because again, the circumstances, the situations are enormous multitudes and to huge extremes. But the battle is between our head and our heart, our human and our spirit, our logic and our intuition, our own stories and, the world. That's where the real issue and the root of so many things lies. And even on a global scale with what is coming out in the world and the Epstein files and all these kind of things that are literally disgusting, like make you sick to your stomach. It brought home to me as well. It's like, well, we all have blood in our hands. None of us are free of this because, again, we are all one. We are all connected in consciousness. But what manifests on the outside is an internal representation of what's going on within. And I don't mean that literally, as in, oh, because there are these horrible people and doing these unimaginable things to kids, that's what we're doing inside. No, don't misconstrue my words. But in the sense of, in my own personal journey, I could see I had so much shame, so much ickiness, so much uncertainty and conflict, and not having forgiven myself and things I did from now I can see a place of pain. That quote, hurt people. And in that sense, none of us are free, none of us are innocent. I've been manipulative, I've been horrible, I've done horrible things. And again, I mean, I'm not talking about these levels of abuse or things like that, but been passive aggressive. Again, in the spiritual realm, they all carry an equal weight to an extent. So the fact that we've all done things we're not proud of, we've all got that inner battle going on until we don't. That's where the healing needs to start always. Like it always starts with one, it always starts with each individual. And I believe the fact that all of this information is coming out now, and there will be so much more, is to show us all as a humanity of what can happen when we get so disconnected from the truth of ourselves, when we get so separated and so full of distortion, and we are in no ways coherent or aligned anymore to our higher truth. This is what can happen, and this is the representation of what happens. And if we continue to keep our eyes closed and decide, oh, that's disgusting, I would never do something like that, or that's not me, that's not taking responsibility for the pieces in your life that you're not proud of, the pieces in your life that cause you shame, the pieces in your life that bring up a icky feeling within you. It doesn't help. You, each of us, me, need to start within ourselves with those pieces. And that's why the journey is overcoming ourselves. We have to be the change we wish to see in the world. We can no longer pretend to be blind or brush it over or point the finger or blame and say they have to do it. Yes, they do. But we have to do it, each of us, in our individual lives as well, in the way that is relative to us. Again, I am not saying we're pedophiles and you're out abusing people or whatever. No. But we all have areas of our life where we have been incongruent and there has been incoherent, inconsistent misalignment with our higher truth and ourself. And that's where we need to start, each of us. And a whole other layer was lifted off my personal eyes and my own journey and my own healing. And it's not okay anymore. It's not okay that people don't take responsibility for their own actions, no matter what they are. Every single action in your life, you are responsible for. You are responsible for your life. You are responsible for your healing. We can no longer blame anyone or anything. Yes, horrible situations happen. I know firsthand. As a child, I have experienced childhood trauma that has stuck with me my whole life. But now, and like that's why I could see I had so much pain and suffering and victimization inside that was unprocessed. I unconsciously was acting from that pain. But that's healing. I've sat with myself, I've healed myself. I'm not perfect, I do it all the time. But I have come to such a level that it no longer owns me. And I don't relive or react from that place anymore. And I take full and utter and total responsibility for me and my life and my actions. And like I said, that's weighty sometimes because we all see, like, oh, I really was a bitch then, or that was really horrible, or oh my God, how could I have done that? And it literally makes ourselves sick to the core. But that's the healing. The people who show up and do that work, the people I've been around in retreat after retreat after retreat and healing ceremonies and circles and all this inner work, I'm always amazed and admire going, these are the people I want to be surrounded by. These are the warriors who've been through shit. And instead of turning into a horrible, nasty person and trying to control and manipulate others because they're in so much pain and like project their shit on others, they're choosing to sit down, do the work, and face themselves so they don't inflict what was inflicted on them. And that's healing. And that's amazing. And that's the piece we all need to step into as a humanity and a collective because nobody is innocent. We all have blood in our hands in some way. And again, that's not to shame ourselves for that. That's part of our humanity. It's accepting that and forgiving ourselves for that and choosing and learning and growing from that so we never repeat that again. And not sure why this is all flowing out beforehand at the start of this episode, but really I just think it's a piece we as a collective, nobody can stay blind anymore. Nobody can stay away from doing their own inner work and doing their own healing because it's not enough to live in victim. It's not enough to sit by and hurt others. And as the saying goes, what happens to us is not our fault. It's not our fault. And it's not your fault. And it wasn't my fault. And no matter what you've lived through, it wasn't your fault. But it is your responsibility to heal yourself, as it is my responsibility to heal myself, and everyone's responsibility to heal themselves. And that's the piece we have to step into as a collective. Taking radical responsibility for your life, for your circumstances, for your situations, doing the work to evolve and heal. So that was something flowing through, but also, and it kind of ties in, even though it doesn't appear to tie in any way, shape, or form, but bear with me, see if I can bring you on the journey. Also, the last episode I shared, I think it was the last one, or maybe it was two. I can't even remember if I recorded one in between. There's so much information flowing through me. I am like activated on another level in a good way. But I think it was the last episode, Frequency Medicine, and I was talking about how this wellness device that I've left over there, literally, it's like a frequency travel machine, that it is moving us with every bottle that we take, every sip, every sip, every sip, every sip is changing our frequency, that we are becoming more aligned to the truth of who we are, becoming more coherent within ourselves and elevating, which along the way means, because that's what healing is. It is changing our frequency so subtly until we literally live in a different frequency in our body. We have changed the fundamental baseline frequency in our body. And in that process, even with this bottle, there is a detox, or there can be a detox. There can be a process. You can be feeling like you're up and down and all over the place, but you just ride it out, you keep going, and it comes full circle. But something became even clearer as well, that yes, it's frequency medicine. Yes, it is a vessel that is bringing, I'm just going to grab it actually again. Yes, it is a vessel. Yes, it is a frequency time travel machine. And it is, I believe, that complete, as Albert Einstein spoke about, future medicine is the medicine of frequencies. And this is completely a medicinal frequency level. But something else became even clearer, because after I recorded it as well, I'm like, yes, that's true. It does fundamentally change the frequency. But then also became clearer. I'm like, and in one sense, it doesn't, because molecular hydrogen doesn't stay in the body. It's actually not doing anything to the body, because the body holds the wisdom. The body is the intelligence. The body has the innate divine blueprint for health, and the body heals the body always and forever. It's not anything we take from the outside that heals the body. So, what's happening? It's actually on a bigger epigenetic level. So, in epigenetics, it's the environment that signals the gene. It's the environment that the cells are in determine how that cell functions or operates or doesn't operate or upregulates or downregulates. It's the environment. That's the science of epigenetics that has been proven. And epigenetics results for 98% of chronic lifestyle issue diseases that exist. 98% or 95. Genes, they always thought it was genes that signal the cells and determined, your health and what health issues you would or you wouldn't experience in your life. But that's been debunked. Genes play a very, 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 very tiny role, between 1 and 5%. So pretty much nothing in the grand scheme of things. It's epigenetics. It is the environment that the cell is in. And they've even done studies with, and I can't remember where the studies were done, but petri dishes. And they had cells, and they had cells, uh, I think they were chicken cells in a culture, and basically they're still alive. They've kept them alive for I don't know how many decades, and a chicken is only meant to live, I can't remember how many years, because they keep the environment absolutely optimal to what the cell needs. So they stay alive. They don't die off. Is that possible for humans? I mean, I'm not quite saying that level, but I'm saying that it's the environment that our cells are in that give information to the cells, that tell it how to perform. So this little device here that seems so like nothing. It seems so inconsequential. Most people actually think it's a lava lamp. It's a great talking point. People are always fascinated, going, what's that? People think it's a lava lamp, especially when it's night and the light is on. They're like, is that a lava lamp? Or they think it's a water purifier, or they're just like, what does that do? Does it clean the water? Like they're just mesmerized. So it's a massive talking point anyway. But actually, what it does in its seemingly inconsequential, how could this help you look to it? It's actually cleaning the environment. It's what it does. Because molecular hydrogen acts like a hoover in the body. because it will just scan for our own unique imbalances. It dissolves, it works on what's not meant to be there. It is cleaning that out, literally cleansing. What does water do? Water cleanses us, it washes us, it clears us of so much stuff. Whether you're in the shower with shampoo or whether you're in the ocean, you feel cleansed, renewed, cleared. Like water has such an intelligence and an important role. Without water, we cannot exist. I was watching an interview the last day with Nuno Nina, the creator of this bottle, and he said water is so vital that actually the creator created skin to keep the water inside of us so we could have life. I'm like, oh my God, that's such a good way of looking at it. So this bottle, with every sip that we are taking, every bottle that we are taking, and you can drink as many of these in a day, we're cleansing. We're cleansing the inner environment. We are washing that inner space, which I alluded to and said in the last episode, like that murky, dirty fish tank. And you put in one jug of clean water, doesn't really do anything. Another. Eventually, you keep putting in a jug, a jug, a jug, a jug, a jug of water, and it becomes lighter and lighter and lighter. It's overflowing until it's eventually clear. And that's what we're doing with this. But it's the environment, our inner environment, more than anything, that is being cleared. So when the inner environment is clearer and free of imbalances and inflammation and oxidative stress and toxins and all the nasties that shouldn't be there, what happens? Well, the innate wisdom of the body and the cells is activated again because it's getting more correct information. So those mitochondria are fueled up, they're powered up, and because the water can actually get into the cell with the molecular hydrogen, they're tuned up, the frequency is shifted, and they can function optimally again. And when the cells have charge, they function optimally again. Of course, there is a cascade of benefits that you feel. You have more energy. Literally, I feel lit up. That's not something you can feel or touch. I feel lit up. I feel full in a hydrated, plump way. Without making me fat, clearly. But you feel lit up, hydrated, clear, charged, having consistent energy, clarity, no brain fog. Just everything works better. Everything works better when we are properly, fully hydrated, but when we have a clean, sustainable inner environment. Change your environment, change your life. That's true across the board. But why is it so overlooked and yet so fundamental? Like, how can such a simple swap have such a massive impact? And this is a question I've been asking myself for so long because, like I've shared as well, I've been that person doing the work consistently, day in, day out. I live a healthy lifestyle as a standard 90% of the time. It's not a difficulty for me. It's second nature to who I am. I adore it. But yet, I suffered all these issues. So it's bamboozled me going, how can one simple swap, after all the retreats I've sat in, after all the modalities I've trained in, and all of these things, how can such a simple swap have such a massive impact? And it occurred to me, it's because we're starting at the root, foundational, fundamental level. It's like in coaching and coming to our subconscious mind that runs us. We don't change the external circumstance because that's just the end product of a thought. So the thought is the start, which creates an emotion. The emotion creates an action, a result, and that result creates our life. And that can be extended, but that's essentially how reality happens. We think something enough, we feel something, that feeling causes us to act in a certain way, whether positive, negative, or neutral. And those actions create our life. And as we feel these feelings, it creates more of the same thoughts, and it's like a cycle. So when I'm working with clients and we're doing subconscious reprogramming in that, we get to the thought. You change the thought to have a different cascade effect, knock-on effect. You don't just change the outside because you can change the outside, but that's not long lasting because you haven't fundamentally changed the thought that created it in the first place. So you can change the outside and you might feel good for a while, but then the same thing will show up. The same pattern will start happening because you haven't got to the root. And this is what it has been with my inner environment because although I feel way better and like that, clearer, and all of these benefits. And I have all these modalities. And again, there's nothing wrong with them. Like I said last time, so much is medicine, and these change our inner environment. Dancing, laughing, breath work, tapping, theta healing, energy work, sitting in nature, healthy food, like these all influence our inner environment as well, which influences our cells, which gives information to our cells. 1,000,000%. And they have all helped me. So again, my question was, well, how could there be such a dramatic shift from one simple change? And I always drank water, always, since I was about 15. And it came to me again. It's because it is the most fundamental, foundational, basic level root piece in the first place that I completely overlooked. I thought by drinking water, I was good. Because, like I say, I drank shitloads of it, liters and liters a day for decades. But it's not all the same. And most of it can't get to the cell. So I can do the healthy eating, I can do the exercise, I can do the breath work, I can do the tapping, I can do the dancing, hanging with friends, being in nature, and I will feel amazing. Maybe for the day, maybe for a couple hours, maybe for a few minutes, maybe for a few weeks or months sometimes. But it's not long lasting because my inner environment is still a bit murky. Whereas with this, when I hit to the root, basic, fundamental, foundational level of the water, then it all shifted because that's what fundamentally, consistently changing the inner environment all day, every day with every bottle I'm drinking, every bottle I'm drinking. And remember, like that fish tank, my inner environment is getting clearer and clearer and clearer and clearer. So I can consistently hold that frequency now because consistently, because it's something I'm doing all day, every day. I can't tap all day, every day. I can't do breath work all day, every day. Like I've tried, it's impossible. Could it be done? Yes. Have I tried it? Yes. Is it realistic or sustainable? Absolutely not. But now, funnily enough, paradox, now that I've changed my water, I don't need to have my tools anymore because I fundamentally, foundationally changed. And with molecular hydrogen, anything you layer on top of it, when your foundational, when your basic environment is so clean and clear, and again, I'm not saying it's perfect because I'm not perfect, but it is way clearer than it's ever been. I know because I feel the difference. Anything you layer on top of that is amplified. So I don't need my tools as much because I'm feeling amazing. And then when I do use them, and I meditate every day, but that's about it, all I'm doing, meditation and breath work from AKA Dr. Joe style. But that's pretty much all I'm doing every day now. Versus I hope to doing all of them at some stage during the day to try keep my frequency and my level up. And it's not sustainable. So drinking this water, making this switch to such a foundational, fundamental level is, again, I've said it, the biggest return on investment that you can get for your money, the biggest bang for buck by far. I have spent thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands on trainings, on retreats, on healing, on ceremonies, everything. And I don't regret any of it. It was all incredible. But the fact that I paid 500 for this, and I feel like it's given me the biggest return on investment ever, and I use it every single day. It's built to last, and the next iteration coming out is even more potent. Like, and it also doesn't get easier. And again, I'm not saying it's easy, and I'm not saying it's a cure-all and a solution and the only thing for you to do. No, we still need to do the work. but it is single-handedly the easiest swap you will ever make in your life to start drinking this water. And again, if you're already doing amazing things, it will amplify all of that and it will get you to a new, cleaner, clearer, more coherent. It's bringing you back to your original soul frequency and blueprint because we are all source. We are all souls, a piece of God, the divine universe, whatever word you want to use, having a human experience. That is the consciousness moving through us. From using this consistently, that's what it returns us to. They actually even use it in their branding. Return to source. We are returning to our original soul frequency by changing our inner environment to be what it was originally created to be. So then our own innate wisdom, intelligence, and divinity in our body and self-healing mechanisms can be reactivated. They've always been there. They've never gone anywhere. They've just been really, really dimmed for most people most of their life. Thinking a dimmer switch, barely a glimmer. But when the body is given the right tools, and it doesn't happen just overnight, this, well, I have it, I notice benefits within a month, and they just keep getting better and better and better and better. This is like 8 months in, and new levels, new levels, new levels, new levels. And that's just the extra add-on I wanted to add on from last week's because again, it's not actually the molecular hydrogen that's doing it. That's doing the cleaning because the body already knows what to do when it's properly supported. And for me in my life, nothing. I don't know if there ever will be actually, because molecular hydrogen is the most abundant, natural, intelligent, adaptive molecule in the universe that created the whole universe in the first place. So I honestly don't think anything can top it. Yes, like phones, like other things, yes, we can constantly evolve it and get it better because it was always there, but it was very hard to capture. It still is. It's a gas. But Lumivita have found a way. And they're the leaders in the space. Their new Luma bottle, again, is the world's first, never seen before, on pre-launch until the 2nd of March. So I will get it if you're thinking of one, because currently it's $95 more expensive than this one. And it's almost half price to what it will be when it launches. And it's got new frequencies and breath work, and again, even more potent, clean therapeutic levels of molecular hydrogen, and it's returning us to source. Again, this is ancient wisdom with modern science. And like I was shown way back last July, this is the liquid for the shift, for the huge transition we're in, for that inner piece of healing that I started talking about on this episode that just now I'm like, why did I start there? Maybe I'll leave that out. This is part of my journey with this water as well. Like, I just don't care anymore. I'm like, I just let it flow. And I mean, and not that I don't care that the intention behind it isn't good. I mean, I don't care about it being perfect. And that's what I mean, getting out of my own way in that sense. But yes, that inner peace, when we feel that shift for ourselves, when we are returned to a source, when that inner coherence, alignment, truth, authenticity comes back online. Again, if you already have a healthy lifestyle, it's going to amplify it. If you don't, it is the most powerful starting point because it will give you a gateway into making all the other changes that maybe you've wanted to make for your life, that you've tried to make a million times and you couldn't stick with them. Because on that foundational level, it will clean up your environment in the first place so your cells get better information. And from there, you have more energy, more capacity, a calmer nervous system, a clearer mind to do what it is from there that you wish to do. So there was something else coming through, but I think I'll leave it there. And yeah, I just wanted to add that extra caveat. Oh, that was it. And the last piece, that it's the liquid for the shift. And for this inner healing that we all need to do. Now I know why I started the way I started, because it's coming full circle. It's not enough for us anymore not to take responsibility for ourselves. And believe it or not, this vessel helps you do that in the most beautiful, subtle, amazing, incredible, loving, feels sacred, held way. And when you come back into full coherence and full connection to the truth of who you are and your divinity and your love and that compassion, there is no way, no way on earth that you could inflict such horribleness on another human or animal or any species. And that's what we all need to be responsible for now, each in our own way, starting with ourselves in our personal lives, getting back to our heart, getting back to our truth, forgiving ourselves, forgiving others, doing our healing, coming back to wholeness. Because again, I've said it before, we are in a new timeline. And to shift to that timeline, this is our little frequency travel device. It's the liquid for the shift, and it's that inner work that's going to get there. So if you're interested, as always, follow me on Instagram at Karen Maloney with an underscore at the end of the Y. Send me an email, support@karenmaloney.com, my website, karenmaloney.com, or I'll have all the links below as well. So lots of love and talk to you soon. Bye.